It's been a pretty ugly day, but let's talk about it. Yo, welcome to The Long and Short. Your boy Maestro here. Thanks for tuning in. Every day on this channel, we try to make you a better crypto trader by showing you some price action trading techniques, a few different perspectives in TA so that you don't get wrecked in this market. We also drop tutorials, lots of different content coming out on this channel. So if you're looking to learn more about crypto, get involved in this market, please go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, hit the bell notification so that you are aware when we post brand new content. All right. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Let's go ahead and dive into the news and the charts. For the most part, the market has been pretty bearish today. There's a few correlations that we're going to point out, both in active addresses and in price. And we're not going to say that we're surprised that price is dropping right now, even though we had a pretty bullish outlook yesterday. There's some things that have actually changed in the charts. So we're going to take a look at that today, even in futures. All right. So we're going to take a look at all of this today pretty deeply. But before we dive in, I think it's important that we cover some pretty good news first, or at least some interesting news. All right. When it comes down to the Super Bowl, we all know that there's plenty of different advertisements that are going to be ran by cryptocurrency companies. All right. I would not expect the price to just jump through the roof for any particular crypto. But, you know, this is good news that we're starting to become more mainstream for adoption purposes, for people who've never heard about Bitcoin or anything else. Right. This may be their first time being introduced to it. Okay. Big world that we live in. Remember that. But one thing that I found interesting, and actually there's a very key piece to this article that I think everybody needs to pay attention to, something that FTX is doing. But check this out. This is pretty cool. Drake is using Bitcoin to bet that the Los Angeles Rams will beat the Cincinnati Bengals in the upcoming Super Bowl match on Sunday. He placed a total of around 1.26 million worth of BTC in bets on Sunday's match, including over 470,000 on the Rams winning the Super Bowl and about 790,000 on the team's wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr. Okay. So what he bet on Odell is that he would get 62.5 yards and 0.5 anytime touchdowns in the game. Okay. And Drake would take home close to $2 million for that. Pretty interesting. Okay. Now, Odell Beckham is actually getting his entire paycheck. He got traded from the Cleveland Browns to the Rams, taking 100% of his paycheck in Bitcoin. All right. And Drake's total payout could reach nearly $2.3 million, according to screenshots of the online betting app Stake shared in his post. So pretty dope. Pretty dope. I like this. All right. Here's the interesting part. Cryptocurrency exchange FTX said on Monday that it would give free Bitcoin away during its ad on Sunday's game to 4 lucky people. To join the contest, users have to retweet FTX pinned tweet when the ad runs in the second half of the upcoming Super Bowl. The total amount of Bitcoin given is still unknown, as it will be based on the Eastern Coast time as the ad runs. Okay, so pretty cool stuff. Set a timer, put it in your calendar. After halftime, get ready to tweet whatever XTX tweets, and you might win some Bitcoin. All right, so that's pretty cool to check out. Okay, so let's take a look at a bit more bearish news so that we can understand a bit in what happened to the price action today, you know, because it has been a down day. So one thing to point out here is that Bitcoin has had a rise in active addresses over the past few days, and this may be part of what's leading to some of this downwards activity, essentially people opening up wallets to sell Bitcoin. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Bitcoin daily active addresses are on the rise. This has followed the uptick in price after the market crash. As time has gone on and the price has been down for a while, investors are taking this to be a time where they can stock up on the digital asset for cheap. All right, so what they're saying is the first day that Bitcoin had 1 million daily active addresses open was on Tuesday. This was not out of the ordinary given the adoption trend of Bitcoin, but it continued to grow. Over the next couple of days, it stayed above 1 million number of active addresses, and sentiment noted that this number had hit 1.02 million addresses on Thursday, making it the third day in a row that Bitcoin daily active addresses had hit this number. All right. The last time that this happened was in December, the 1st through the 3rd. On the 4th, price crashed. We've pointed out the 4th many different times on this channel. The last time that Bitcoin had daily addresses surpass 1 million consistently over a 3-day period had been in December of last year. And even then, it had held some interesting implications for the digital asset. Interesting, huh? That's a pretty unique word to use, I would say. Going by the historical data, what happened the last time this was the case, it spells a bearish short term for the digital asset. If you're going to go by historical data, then this means we're in a super bear market, okay? Because you're expecting a super crash. And this was on Thursday that this article came out, okay? So they were expecting down prices today. Prices did come down, but they didn't come down as hard as they came down in December. So let's see. Tomorrow may be an interesting day. I'm talking about Saturday, okay? So we want to see what happens on Saturday because the weekend could get pretty wild. All right, on December 4th, Bitcoin had lost over 10K in a matter of hours, dropping from 57,000 to 42,000 sharply. Although the asset had begun to recover shortly after, it will be a start of a stretched out downtrend that continues even till now. Using the conservative estimate and the digital asset's current price could put it towards the $38,000 price point, meaning that Bitcoin could once again lose its footing above 40K. All right, so these are all things that we were talking about. There's a big CME futures gap at 41. We had a feeling that price may want to reverse and turn around and not be so bullish, going towards the end of the week. And this is what we're starting to see, right? So go back to Monday's video, Tuesday's video. We said price will probably get a little bearish towards the end of the week. And this is the type of stuff that you're going to see. If Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are bullish, okay, Thursday, Friday tend to be bearish and vice versa. All right, so they always swing the week one way or the other. It's just about whether or not they sort of reverse it on a Wednesday or a Thursday. Sometimes they reverse it on a Friday too. So these are things that you can sort of pay attention to in the charts. And you'll see this materialize from week to week to week to week to week. All right, let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, currently sitting at 50 right now from yesterday's 50. I would imagine that by tomorrow it'll be down a little bit more into the fear territory. Right now, the market is neutral, not a bad place to be, but futures does show us some very interesting things. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. When it comes to Bitcoin futures for February, as you can see, we're coming right back down to this 13 EMA line. So we said the 13 EMA line, if we do return to that, it will be somewhere around this CME gap, okay? Go back to the last few videos, you'll be able to see this as we spoke about this, okay? So price comes down. We're anticipating that it might dip a bit below this 13 EMA. The question is, will it stay below the 13 EMA? In my opinion, you have a chance of it staying below that and starting to form more of a range, okay? Now, if price does find some sort of foundation around 40, 38 to 36, this is what we really want to see, okay? Because this kind of gives us enough time to bounce off of that lower level going into March, okay? We want to be bullish going into March. If we're not bullish going into March, then that could lead us into trouble when it comes to the FOMC as they raise these rates. The news will push people one way or the other. Believe me, folks, it happens every single time. Then they just reverse the market on us. You saw that yesterday with the open in New York, okay? Go back to the video from yesterday. You'll be able to see exactly what we're talking about, okay? So what are we concerned about? Price coming back down to fill this CME gap. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but it'll dip us below this 13 EMA. If it actually does that, then we have a chance of staying below it, okay? Just like we did here. A pop above, then you stay below this 13 EMA for more of a bearish trend, all right? Do I think it's time for us to rebound? Yes, I do. Is the first quarter for Bitcoin typically bearish? Yes, right? So February is usually the only good month for Bitcoin. January to March, usually a little bearish to neutral when it comes to Bitcoin, all right? Second quarter, maybe a lot more bullish activity in the market. So we're looking for that. We're anticipating that. But right now, things seem to be swinging sideways for us. And this is what we're seeing. The bullish trend is sort of dying out a bit, okay? Lots of different factors that are contributing to that. When it comes to open interest, still high, okay? But it seems that the larger speculators do a pump fake. So they creeped above this zero line, and now they are starting to line up net short, which pushes the commercials net long. So you see this was happening now. All of the smaller speculators, which is the retail traders, okay, they are now pushing net long again. So essentially, this little fake out move right here, this maneuver, okay, from the larger speculators pushed a lot of people long, okay? People got in thinking that price is going to start to rally, and now this is when you're seeing the decline, okay? So they are starting to think net short, pushing the commercials net long. Retail speculators Smaller speculators are still net long. Okay, so this right here is a bit tentative in regards to us making a decision. It seems that the larger speculators have dipped below the zero line, so we're anticipating lower prices going into the weekend, possibly starting off Monday and Tuesday. Okay, if they flip above that zero line again, then we're going to be watching them and we're going to follow them. Okay, because things may start to turn bullish again. What we're really paying attention to, though, here is the elder rate. So you see how the bears, they relinquished power for a while, but now they're starting to come back. Okay, but they're not completely under that zero line yet, and the bulls still have some power and some steam left. So let's see over the next few days going into next week if the bulls do cross back below this zero line along with the bears, and if they do, then that could spell for lower prices. Now you're starting to look for 36, 38, 34. Okay, same areas that we showed you on our scale in, scale out positions for Bitcoin, and how those levels are really just getting ping pong between, which is leading to some pretty good trades if you ask us. All right, there's still money in this market. The money did not fall off the market completely. You did have an uptick in money. Okay, so institutions are here. I believe that they are just waiting for the price to dip a little bit more. Then they're going to start buying again. So this makes me bullish. Okay, only thing I'm concerned about is this dip below the zero line, which could be, again, a fake out by large speculators. Okay, also, you did have a pretty big period of distribution today in the market. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the charts very quickly and dive into what we see on the dailies as well as the scalping charts. Okay, so when it comes down to the total market cap for crypto, we have dipped right back below that $1.876 trillion line that we have been watching. Okay, so price delivered below it. You do have imbalances here to this area, okay, which we are watching. So again, if price does dip below here, sort of catches the floor and then continues up, this is what we want to see for continued bullish activity going into the FOMC. But right now, price is below this. So again, this signifies a bit of a weak market for us. Okay, so all of these stories and all of these other little, news articles, you can confirm whether or not you're in a strong or weak market just by simply drawing a dividing line between sort of the higher levels in price and the lower levels in price. Okay, and it's the same thing for market cap. So dip below the 1.876 trillion line. This does put us in more of a weak position when it comes to the market. So what we want to see is a bounce, sort of a fill of this imbalance. If it's going to drop, okay, the lowest we want to see market cap drop is to maybe, let's say, 1.7 trillion. And then we want to see it push back up. Okay, we understand that the institutions have showed up again. We do see a bit of a push up, but you did not break market structure to this side here, which shows us that this push up was a bit weak. All right, it's not something that is giving us a lot of confidence that the bulls are going to continue this move. Now, this could be a retracement. You could simply just watch it retrace down and keep pushing up higher. But we have to be aware that it can go either way. At this point in this market right now is a bit tentative when it comes to what's going to happen in the future. And right now, people are walking on eggshells. As much as people are betting on positions and plays, they're still kind of tentative in this market, which is why the market is essentially neutral when it comes to sentiment. Let's take a look at the 1 hour chart to dive in a bit deeper into some possible scalp plays that may. Let's take a look at the 1 hour chart to dive into some possible scalp swing plays that may be available to us going into the weekend. Okay, Bitcoin 1 hour chart. Let's take a look. Price been very negative today. Looks like New York woke up and just wanted to dump on everybody, and that's what they did. But price really only fell maybe a couple of $1,000s. Okay, wasn't a major drop off for Bitcoin, but it was a pretty hard hit today for anyone that was long. Okay, so ultimately, what are we looking at? There's really two different areas in Bitcoin right now where price could potentially bounce. The first area is the CME futures gap, somewhere around 41. So at the bottom of this order block, this green area here, if price were to bounce from this area, snatch the liquidity to the low side, and then bounce, that's what we want to see to maintain a bullish run. Okay. If price were to come down below this order block, okay, sort of consolidate here, give a fake push up, and then take people down, okay, it's going for this imbalance in price. Now, would this be the worst thing in the world if Bitcoin were to drop below 40K briefly to fill an imbalance? Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, okay? If price were to turn around from there, then we're in pretty bullish territory. Once we break these two levels, though, and we come below this low that we're identifying maybe around 37.4, okay, from where price launched from, If we dip below this low, then we may start to be in lower territories, okay, which is where we're going to start to look for areas around 36, 34 for support. All right. If price is not supported there, it will reach for this low, which is 33. By the time it gets to 33, if you don't find a floor there and bounce, Bitcoin's in trouble. All right. FOMC is coming up. These are things that we want to be aware of and how low price actually is before we get to FOMC, because I think if we dip anywhere below 30K after the FOMC, it's going to spell bad news for Bitcoin. So what's the positive news? We're looking for us to either fill the CME gap and bounce, fill this imbalance and bounce, or try to find some sort of consolidated ranging area somewhere around 36 to maybe 34. If you go down to 33, you're in trouble. So this is what we're looking for in regards to the bullish case. Do we think the bulls still have control of the market? It seems like it's dying a bit, but this isn't something that really concerns me, okay? We want to see price find a floor, some kind of levels, maybe somewhere around here, okay? Now, so this could take place over the weekend. This could take place on Monday or Tuesday, okay? Now, we understand how the week usually plays out for Bitcoin. Whatever you're doing in the beginning of the week, you're typically going to do the opposite by the end of the week, okay? You have a turning point during the week somewhere, whether it's Wednesday or Thursday, somewhere during that week, you have a turning point, okay? So we saw the turning point happen on Thursday, okay? Prices were down yesterday, they were down today. So what are we looking for? By Monday, if price were to keep falling over the weekend, okay? So you sort of have a weekend dump, okay? That will create another CME futures gap sort of around the same area, but a little bit higher than the previous one. All right. If you do have a gap higher, then you can expect price to try to fill that the same way that it does to the low side. All right. So we're looking for a bounce somewhere around 41. If we go lower than that, we're looking for the bounce somewhere right under 40K. If we don't get that by Monday, Tuesday, okay, going into next week, sometime next week, you could see lower prices if we don't bounce in one of those two areas by next week. All right. So this is what we're anticipating is Friday. The weekend may go silent, may go dormant. You may start to sort of accumulate right in this area of the order block. Okay. I don't anticipate price launching through the ceiling. Too much uncertainty in the market at the moment. Okay. So if you're going to play anything right now, you want to wait for price to develop the range, whether it just swings sideways like this within this order block, or if it really starts to seek lower lows. All right. If you're thinking about taking a short position, you want to see liquidity get snatched from the top side before it goes lower. If you're thinking about taking a long position, you want to see it bounce from one of these areas that price is essentially reaching for before you think about going long. All right. So we want to see either 41 or right below 40. Price start to either consolidate, reach for lows, and then go higher, or somewhere around 41, the same type of scenario. Okay, so this is what we're waiting for in price. We're going to try to wait and see what price delivers for us and take a shot. All right, we're going to take a shot, a few shots on the demo account to see what we get this weekend if price delivers something that we see. If we don't see anything, we don't take any trades. That's the way it goes. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Very, very, very tentative weekend coming up, guys. And I wouldn't be too amped to trade. You may take some losses this weekend because price may whipsaw just like it did last weekend. Spike the lows, spike the highs, spike the lows, spike the highs, and just sit people still. Okay. So you saw last weekend, you could see it again this weekend. Let's see what happens on Monday. All right. Let's take a look at the more long-term charts to see how price has been developing over the past few days. They're coming back down out of those premium zones. Everything's down today, as you guys can see. So let's take a look. Bitcoin daily chart. Now, on these charts, we like to preface this in a couple of different ways. These are long-term hodl perspectives. These are not swing or scalp type of setups that we have here. And what you see in the blue lines are scale-in positions. The horizontal blue lines are scale-in positions where we're getting in, okay? Scale-out positions are outlined in orange, okay? High prices versus low prices are outlined by the yellow lines. And if I zoom this out a bit, you guys can see just a little bit better. We mark off premium zones, places where we're selling, versus discount and bargain zones, places where we're buying. Okay. So there will be a full tutorial probably coming out this weekend about how to set this up, all of the steps that it takes. And we'll be posting that as a card on the YouTube video so that as we start to explain these things, we can get through them a lot faster and just refer to the tutorial And from there, you can draw this out on any particular cryptos that you want to. Okay. So when it comes down to it, scale in, scale out. You guys understand that. Discount premium, you guys understand that. Okay. The yellow lines demark where the discount and premium areas are. The blue vertical lines outline where the FOMC is actually going to take place. Okay. So the meeting in March. So what are we looking at right here? Price came down from a scale out zone. Okay. So if you honored the scale in buy, okay, at either position, either 34 or 32, where price was reaching for a few weeks ago, and you scaled out over the past couple of days, okay, then you've taken some profits. All right. This is a 30+% move in Bitcoin from a discount zone to a low premium. Okay. So when it comes down to our rules being followed by price, it follows them. All right. What are we looking for next? If Bitcoin were to dip down below 40K, where the first area of discount comes in, we're looking to become buyers at that point. Right now, not so much, right? We're still a little bit too high in regards to price when it comes to Bitcoin. We want to wait, okay? The HODL game is all about patience and buying in at the lower areas of price. Even if it seems counterintuitive and like price is crashing through the floor, best times to buy. You hear this over and over and over again, but where are these lines for you to understand where to buy, where to sell? We're drawing them out for you here, okay? So as you guys can see, scale in the scale out area gets hit for Bitcoin, respect it. Now it's coming back to a discount zone. If it does drop below 40K, we're looking to get in that Bitcoin, which is currently right now trading from a low premium zone at 42,344. We're waiting for it to drop to discount so that we can get a bit more Bitcoin for the cheap. When it comes to Ethereum, same thing, okay? From a discount zone to a low premium zone, bouncing off of a scale in area to a scale out area, leaving it a little bit, but then coming right back down under it, okay? So the market's going to respect these areas one way or the other based on the rules that we, sort of understand about price and algorithms and how they work, all right? Imbalance is filled, tried to reach for equal highs, couldn't do it, okay? Came right back down into the lower levels of the low premium zone, okay? So if price were to dip down anywhere below 25.36 for Ethereum, we think it's a fairly good buy depending on market conditions. And we are scaling in anywhere under that level, taking more scaling positions for Ethereum at around 24.01. Okay. So right now trading at 29.56, couple of down days for Ethereum. Right now down 4.22%. Pretty bad day. Okay. Taking a look at XRP, again, swinging from scale in to scale in zone in this discount area. So we think if XRP is anywhere under $1.04, it's a good area to scale in. Now, you do want to understand that as you scale in, you will have rises and dips in price. The entire goal and objective is to be patient, not scale in every time it hits these levels, but over time, you're scaling in. As long as price is playing around these levels, this is where you're buying, if you get what I'm saying. As soon as price breaks above this line here into low premium zones, as soon as you hit your scale out levels, this is where you're selling, right? So as long as you're following your rules and you're staying disciplined, you will see the day where XRP breaks above $1.04. I am certain of it. I'm certain of it, right? Everyone knows that XRP right now is selling at a discount. You can't even get it on most exchanges, all right? So if you can find a way to get your hands on some XRP at these levels, this is where you will want to start to be taking a look, okay? If price were to even drop below to the bargain zone, 57 cents, you guys can see historically, it doesn't stay there long, okay? So boom, you get drops into these areas and price takes right back off. This is where the buying pressure is, and this is where the floor is essentially right now for XRP. All right, so if we can get it at 52 cents, God bless you. God bless you. All right. All right. Cardano in a discount zone, currently trading at $1.09. So Cardano's been having a hard time lifting off of this floor. And this you can just take a look at the price action. Everything's been fairly negative. All right. Scaling out, we can see that Cardano does jump from these discount areas. Okay. Even jump from a bargain area into a low premium zone, actually all the way from a bargain area to a high premium area. So Cardano has the steam to do this type of stuff, but right now it's not showing us anything impressive. But we still think that scaling in somewhere around $1 for Cardano is a good buy. Okay, so if you can get it for about $1.89, you're still picking it up in a pretty good area. We would watch it though. If price were to dip just a little bit into these low premium areas, this is where we would take profit, right? Doesn't have to hit our scale out zones for us to take something home. Okay, so this is all we're trying to show you guys. Anywhere in the discount where you're buying, once you cross into that low premium, as long as you're not buying at the tippy top of the discount zone, okay, you want to let your profits run a little bit. But these scale out areas are areas that we are anticipating will get hit. So we'll wait, okay? again, scaling in somewhere around $1 to 89.90 cents for Cardano are good areas for you to buy in. Okay, so right now price seems to be coming back to those areas. Let's see if it does, so that we can put just a few more bucks on Cardano. When it comes down to Solana, all right, same premise, right? You're trading around scale-in areas. You don't have to put money down every time you hit one of these blue lines. But if you're in the general area of these blue lines in a discount zone, it's a good area to take a look at. All right, so Solana, we think is very strong right now, down 8.28%. So very bloody day for Solana. Okay, but you see, price will probably be supported somewhere around this area. Okay, so even though we're scaling in and maybe at a loss at this point, you're still in fairly good areas to buy Solana right now, under $100 at 97. Okay, trading in a discount zone. All right, when it comes to AVAX, we are in a low premium zone, dropping pretty hard out of it. Okay, now whenever you have very big launches or parabolic moves, they call these parabolic moves to the top side. Whenever you have this, you will experience pretty hard falls. So AVAX today, falling off almost 10%. I think this was down around 10% at some point. Okay, but these big launches off these areas, you're going to fall back down. But again, if you would have practiced the rules, right, from the discount zone scale in to a scale out, you would have taken profits here. You've taken some profits probably when price reached deeper into the low premium zone and you saw it turning around. Today would have been a good day to take profits if you were in AVAX, okay, if you follow these rules. But again, this is all subjective, guys. You may be able to pick these things out. You may be able not to pick them out. And here's the thing about trading. Pushing that button, having the, the gravitas, the cojones, whatever you want to call it, okay, to push that button, it takes a lot more than what you think it takes, okay? So you have to develop this skill of knowing when to get in, when to get out, and not letting your emotions take you over. And part of what we're showing you here is to allow you to start to make that transition. So for some people, scaling out right here would have been a bad play. But do you think they feel that way now, right? On the day that it happened, you saw price rise up. You would have been like, man, it ran away from me. But did it really? Because now it's coming right back to these areas on you again, okay? So these scale out areas are, again, showing themselves to you guys. Follow the rules in price, and you will be happy a few days later once you see what actually materializes on the charts. It always feels bad when you're doing it. Believe me, I know, okay? But you'll learn to break that spirit over time if you follow rules and you understand that as long as you're working like a robot, your account will continue to rise because you're working on rules and not emotions, all right? So AVAX in a low premium zone looks like it's coming back to a discount zone. Anywhere under $77 we think is a good buy for AVAX. You can see how it does pump out of these areas once it does start to take a ride. All right, right now at $82, we think we want to wait for AVAX to come back down to discounted areas before we buy again. Okay, let's dive into Cosmos. So when it comes to Cosmos, this is a good example of us not following our own rules and being antsy traders, okay? So we got into Cosmos in the low premium zone. Granted, when price did hit this scale out area, we took some profits. So we have some dry powder from that trade. But look what price did right after it hit that level. It came right back down, okay? Right to the area where we bought in at last time. Now, mind you, we're still up in this trade because price hasn't gone below this little thin blue line. It hasn't gone below this yet. So we're actually still up in the trade. But all of the profits that we made, right, with the exception of what we took, they kind of just snatched it right back from us. So this is why it's important also to sometimes say, you know what, I'm in a low premium zone. I'm pretty much halfway through it. I'm going to take a little bit more profit this time. Or I'm just going to be patient and wait for price to dip into the areas where I really want to buy it. Remember, this is a long-term hodl. Okay, I want to wait. I want to be patient. And as long as I'm patient, this is when the price is going to show me that it really wants to go to these areas. When it does, I'm going to take advantage of that. Now, of course, price could run away from me. We all know this. All right, so you have to use your best judgment in where you're getting in. We were under the impression, based on all of the bullish news, the activity of price, and what we saw in previous price action, that Cosmos would continue to run, which is why we got in the low premium zone. A little bit too aggressive, right? So learn from your mistakes. Wait, be patient, and you won't have to deal with this big drawdown, even if you do take some profits, right? After you see yourself take some profits, you can see this big drawdown as well. So you do have to sort of learn through experience and over time how to avoid these type of situations. All right, so we're still up in the trade. Price bounced right off of that line where we got in, but we're not so confident that it will stay above that line. We're hoping it does. When it comes to DOT, Polkadot and discount zone currently right now trading at $19.17. So we are looking to scale in these areas. We are in a discount zone. This does follow our rules. We think DOT does have the ability to push out of these zones. Okay, but we need to start to see more of an influx of real money into the market. This is sort of swinging sideways. Okay, again, on a daily chart. So these things seem small, but they are pretty exaggerated moves. Right now, DOT is down currently 6.9%, holding on stronger than a few other cryptos, but still a pretty substantial loss for the day. But again, these areas are areas where we think DOT is pretty good to scale in at, even at areas of around 20 bucks, 17 bucks. If it gets below 15.50, even better for Polkadot, okay? Because we think this is going to be around in the future. Okay, let's talk about MATIC. MATIC currently right now in a low premium zone, trading at $1.73. All right, and we can also see scale in the scale out levels getting hit, respected, okay, and then getting rejected off of. So right now we think MATIC is still a good buy under $1.50. If it does cross back through this level, you see you do have a floor right here that's starting to be established. Lots of wick action right there. Okay, so hoping that that floor holds up. Anything under $1.50 we think is a fairly good buy when it comes to MATIC. Currently trading at $1.73 in a low premium zone. When it comes to Luna, Luna is currently also dropping from a low premium back into a discount zone. Again, scale in level gets hit, scale out level gets hit, price will drop back down into a discounted zone, offering you buy opportunities again. Okay, I think what most people always get twisted with is when you see these little levels up, okay, and comes back down, these are your areas to buy again. If you're coming from all-time highs or high premium zones, okay, these little rises and dips, those aren't retracements to buy. You want to wait for price to hit the lower levels in price, which is what we identify with, discount premium zones, right? The lower levels of discount and bargain are where you want to wait for price to come back to, which is where you're going to start to scale in at. So these moves up and then down should not scare you. These are levels that are being supported. Okay, these are levels where the money's coming in at. So you want to go in as well. So we're scaling in, first position at around 43.56 for Luna, which is currently trading at $50, just dropping back down into a discount zone. Do I think Luna's going to stay here for long? Probably not, guys. Probably not. Okay, so if you look at the previous price action, you do have sort of a launching of price from the bargain area, which was somewhere around $6 up to this area currently of around 50 bucks, coming down from an all-time high. But we still do have a lot of faith in Luna. We think it's trading strongly, and it will continue to do so. Right now in the discount zone, we think it's a pretty good price to pick it up under 53 bucks. All right, let's take a look at Harmony One. For Harmony One, we are also dropping out of a low premium zone into a discount zone. Okay, so scaling in areas maybe around 17 cents to 14 cents. This is where you're finding your support. Okay, so you see the wicks here. See the wicks here. So if Harmony does come back down to these lines in discount zones, we think that these are still good areas to accumulate for Harmony One. Okay, and we will look to scale out once we start to get back into these low premium zones. The first real major scale out level will be around 25 cents for Harmony One. Okay, currently trading at 19 cents, dropping from a low premium into a discount zone. But these again are areas where we're looking to scale into Harmony One. When it comes to Fantom, starting to drop down off of the low premium zone back into a discounted zone. Okay, so this is going to present us an opportunity. If price does come back down into the discount zone and hits our first scaling level of $1.68 to $1.49, then these are the areas where we're going to look to start to scale in for Fantom. Okay, we're at the top of the discount zone, so a little risky, but we want to see it. If it does drop anywhere near $1.14, this is a much better price to get it at. But do I think that we will see these prices? It's a possibility, but maybe not that low. You may only get to maybe $1.25, $1.30, okay, which is based on where these lows are. All right, we want to use these same signatures in price because they actually mean something, guys. So we're waiting for these scale in positions to get hit from $1.68 to $1.49, and then we're looking to scale out once price does return back to the low premium zone. This downwards action is giving us opportunity, okay? As you can see, scale out level again. We're basing these off certain things in price, either order blocks and balances, equal highs, equal lows, areas of liquidity. Once these areas get grabbed, you can scale out. Okay, these are areas where you can get out. On the daily chart, this is where we're looking for. All right. So once again, at $1.95 Fantom, we can wait to buy this until it gets to around $1.80 or better, a little bit lower. That's where we're looking to scale in. All right, last few coins we're going to cover here. Dogecoin in a bargain zone, and we use Dogecoin as a comparison to show you what really negative pump and dump price action look like. Okay, once you fall into these discounted zones, you really don't come out of here. So again, we want to see Doge drop down to around 9 to 7 cents, and those are the areas where we're scaling in. Doge right now seeing negative price action again on the day, down 14 cents, down to 14 cents. Okay, so hopefully the Doge can bounce back. It is holding up a bit better than a lot of other cryptos today. So that's one good thing that we can say about Doge. All right, let's talk about Enjin and the metaverse. Enjin token, still good areas to accumulate if you ask me. You're still in the discount zone. You see you do have lots of accumulation in these areas here from bargain to discount zone. And then price launches up, okay? So we want to be aware once price does cross into these low premium zones, and it's like this for a lot of these coins. It doesn't stay in these higher areas long, okay? So taking profits in these areas is important, as you guys can see. Right now, these are in accumulation zones for us, all right? Anything under $2.50 seems like a good buy for Enjin, all right? Scaling levels right now are around $2.32, $1.75, $1.29, give or take, all right? So anywhere where these lows, order blocks, things like that are located, these are the areas where we're looking to get in. Mana currently dropping from a low premium zone back into a discount zone. Okay, so once again, if you're buying in discount, selling in low premium, you can see as long as you're taking something off the top, once you reach these zones, you don't feel so bad when you get these price rejections. Okay, so price coming back down into a discount zone, we think is a good area to accumulate under $3 when it comes to Decentraland. Now we're looking to get it at a much better price at around $2.11 is our first scale in. Next levels down are in bargain zones. Do we think Decentraland will actually hit these areas again? Probably not, but we're prepared just in case price does actually hit these areas. Okay, so once again, from a low premium to a discount zone, we do see that Decentraland is starting to trace some, but it probably won't stay in this discount area for long. Let's talk about Sandbox. All right, Sandbox, another good example of a scale in to scale out area that got hit. All right, so if you would have got in somewhere around January 24th, and we were posting videos at this time, up to, let's say, February 9th or 10th, okay? From scale in to scale out, this was a very nice move. I just want to take a look, take a ruler. See, just for example, if you would have did this, this is around 66%, guys, in just a few days, all right? And this is on Sandbox. So, again, falling from a low premium zone right now, trading at $4.23. If it does come back down to 283, or maybe somewhere around, let's say, 360, 350 in this discount zone, then we are interested again in looking at Sandbox, okay? Let's move forward with Link and CRV. These are the last two tokens that we're going to cover for the day. All right, Chainlink, again, scaling in these areas. These are areas to accumulate. As you can see, price can jump very aggressively out of these levels. Hasn't done it, okay? And if we look to the left here, there is a bigger area of consolidation here, right in this area of bargain, okay? So now this area is starting to become a bit more attractive to us in regards to scaling into position, all right? Very big dump today, around 7% for Chainlink, okay, which hasn't been having super big days, but it has been pushing out of that previous low that it reached, all right, which was the first scaling zone. So again, areas to accumulate. We think that Chainlink is a good buy anywhere under 27 bucks. Our scaling levels are around 24, 17, 14, $11, $8, etc. for Chainlink. And we do anticipate that it will break above into this low premium zone to start to reach these levels in the 30s, potentially the 40s, okay? But we do need to see more of a bull market in play for that to happen. Last but not least, we have CRV, all right? Coming from discount into low premium. And again, just honoring the discount to premium rules, scaling in, taking some profit at low premium, you have taken something home before the drop, okay? So again, it's not going to work on everything, guys. No one rule applies to everything. But if you can find a rule that applies to most things, that's really all you need in trading, okay? There is no golden goose. There is no golden ticket. There is no one strategy that works on everything, every time frame, every coin, every stock, everything. It doesn't, okay? You don't have that. The market is too wild and crazy and has too many variables associated with it for you to try any one thing and think that it'll work all of the time. But this right here is showing you that at least by setting up these levels, you are allowing yourself a fair shot. And all it is about eliminating the emotions that go along with actually selling something that you bought that you think is going to run higher. Okay. Getting rid of those emotions keeps you in the market, keeps you with some dry powder, and allows you to trade another day, even if you do see some dips like this. Okay. So again, CRV discount zone, we think it's a good area to accumulate. You see some accumulation areas here and also dipping down into the bargain zone. Okay, so these are the areas where we'll buy. We may have to wait a month or two for price to really eject out of these areas. If in fact the FOMC news is bad, we're fine with that. Okay, because we're buying at lower levels of prices, and we know we'll see our day when we'll start to hit these scale out zones of 39, $5.25, $6. It jumps out of these areas very quickly. Okay, this could be a week and we'll be right back up into these areas. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and close out for the day. So what are the take homes? What do we really need to think about going into the weekend? I would not be an anxious trader this weekend. I would not be taking long or short positions thinking that I'm going to ride it to the moon. Chances are the market's going to whipsaw people around this weekend just like it did last weekend. The market is here to clear traders out, which is why you're going to get these big down moves in price, and which is why I think that a lot of the red that you're seeing today is essentially a setup going into next week. So as we get into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we want to pay attention to price. Is it going to be bullish or bearish? Okay, because as we see this from week to week, typically whatever you're doing in the beginning of the week, you're going to do the opposite of near the end of the week. So if Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday open up bullish, then we can expect more bearish activity towards the end of the week, and vice versa. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Pay attention to the news. Pay attention to Fed may have an emergency meeting on Monday. We don't know what's going to happen with that. They may actually raise the interest rates quicker than we anticipated in March. All right, so be on the lookout for news. Be on the lookout at the Bitcoin price. Watch the charts. This is the way that you become familiar with price action, how things move. And just keep following us, guys, because we're going to keep tracking this market day to day, week to week. All right, so I think we're going to call it a day. It's your boy Maestro. Be expecting some tutorials because it's going to cut down a lot of time that it takes for us to explain this on a daily basis. For those folks who are new, we'll be able to cut straight to the chase. And if they want to learn this process and this system and how to line all this stuff up on the charts, there'll be tutorials for that. All right, so we want to get these videos down about 20 minutes, and that's that. All right, so salute. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you and your time. We're going to get up out of here and enjoy the weekend. So long and short, your boy Maestro.